Helpful. The thing I find really interesting is companies spend thousands and oftentimes millions of dollars to gain a customer, and all it takes is one negative experience with an employee for them to lose that customer forever. And not only do they lose that customer, they lose all that customer's friends, because bad news travels quicker than good news. So it's so important that employers really hire the right people, and that they train them, and that they ensure that that employee has the same sense of customer commitment that the company says that they have as well. And so if you are an employee, or if you're a small business, you really want to make sure that as an employee you're the right person for that particular company, and that you're working for a company that's customer focused, because good employees create good customer service experiences, and good companies create good employee experiences. So there's a variety of different things that if you get the right people hired to do the right things, you'll have a lot greater success in the organization. Two companies that I know from that I buy all the time, one is ranked as the best company to work for in the United States, of the top 500 companies, and that's Southwest Airlines. And in an economy today where airlines are losing money all the time, Southwest continues to be profitable and to create a great customer service. And they do that because their employees have a great time, and they treat their employees well. Another company that I buy from all the time that has great customer service and great employee relationships and treat their employees really well is Trader Joe's. Great customer experience. And if you go on their website, if you are looking for a job and you go on their website, from the time you start with their website and their application and recruitment process, you find all sorts of interesting, you just get a feel and a sense about the company. I often ask my clients or business owners, how do your employees represent you and your company? And all you have to do is look around at the employees in an organization or in a store, and you'll get a sense of how those employees are treated. If the employees are treated well by the company, they will go out of their way to provide good service to you. And so it's important for employers, whether it be the supervisor, the manager, or the small business owner, to make sure that they hire and keep the right people with the right attitude and values. It's so much more important that not only that an employee has the right skills, but that they have the right attitude in terms of how they treat people. And you cannot train for attitude. You can train somebody to do something, but you can't train for them to have a positive attitude, to have a good sense of fairness, communicate effectively, and be a team player. And as Jennifer mentioned, if you have internal customers, and those are the people you work with every day. And anyone that's ever worked in a department, worked with another group of people, or in a business, you know that one negative employee can ruin an entire group. So it's really important that you either manage that person up or you manage them off to another organization. And so conversely, as an employee, it's really important that you bring your best attitude into the company and you present yourself as positively as you can, and make sure that you're the right fit for that particular company. And good employees, basically, they improve performance, they create better bottom line results, and they will do that if the company trains them. So it's really important that employees are effectively trained and developed. And actually, that's the #1 thing for workers today, is effective training and positive training and development. How are they going to enhance their skills? How are they going to do better? And it makes them more confident about their job. They're more confident with their employees, their coworkers, and they're also more effective with their the customers. And it makes better morale and happier employees, and it reduces the turnover and creates, again, loyalty to the organization. So I think that if you're an employee or you're looking for work or you're a supervisor or manager, how you present yourself overall is really how that company is represented to the customers.
Wow, this is it. In the past, my approach to problem employees have been to behead them and impale them in front of the business or yard
Right.
for other musicians to see. Was that a bad approach? How would you
Well,
advise me?
That's usually the third and last approach. Not
Okay.
one I highly recommend, however, that's
Okay.
always an option. But
Okay.
I think that the better approach is that oftentimes, and that's a very common problem with managers, supervisors, business owners, is by the time they get to a problem employee, they are so frustrated. Rather than recognize that, why is the employee not performing? Perhaps they're not aware of what is the purpose of the job.
Okay.
What's the mission of the company? What are the values? Maybe the values in the company are not in alignment. There's those kinds of things. Maybe the quality standard isn't there. Now the employees that you were thinking about beheading at the point in time, were they unaware? Did you not communicate was aware? Or did they just not listen? Didn't they hear you? More often than not, it's a communication problem. I do believe that most people want to do a good job. And there's obstacles that are put in their way. And more often than not, it's either lack of training, lack of resources, poor communication, or misunderstanding. That said, there are some employees that it's just not a good fit. They want to be doing something else.
Right.
And at that point, you either manage them up or you manage them out of the organization. And my experience has been over time that managers, by the time they want to get rid of an employee, they are so frustrated, they want them gone yesterday. And by that time, there's a lot of damage that's done. And particularly, if they're touching your outside customers, you don't know what's going on.
Yes.
Or the quality of work is deteriorated. So it's much better to take action sooner than later. I've never had a manager say to me, I should have waited longer before letting that person go. And and for employees that are really unhappy in their jobs, of which right now there was just a survey that came out recently with the conference board that over 55% of employees are unhappy in their jobs. And unhappy employees are not highly productive. And so therefore, if you're not happy, look to make a change if you can. And I know these are tough economic times, but in the long run, it'll serve you better, and there are still good companies out there hiring.
What kind of traits do you look for?
When I do interviewing or I coach managers to interview, I really strongly recommend an outgoing willingness to help, willingness to ask questions. And in the interview, you find that out. If you're interviewing for a job where you're dealing with customers, is ask a lot of questions of the company and people that are genuinely interested in others. And they care about doing a good job. They have a friendly demeanor. They smile. They have a sense of humor. Rarely do people, and they have a high level of flexibility. You've got to be very flexible when you're dealing with customers, because not everybody is the exact perfect customer, as we all know. And so I think being flexible and being, and having a sense of humor and be willing to find the best solution. Well, I would say if you're an employee, if you're looking for work at the present time, don't give up. There are still a lot of opportunities out there, and believe in yourself and know that you can create and provide great quality work to other people. If you're a supervisor, a manager, a business owner, it's really important to understand that employees do represent the company, and to create a great customer experience, you really do need to have the loyalty and the commitment of your employees, and create a great culture within the organization of communication, kindness, and integrity. And I think that will serve you well, it will serve your whole organization, and it helps serve the world.
And just in general for businesses to do the same, to be aware of ways to differentiate yourself, because there are a lot of people competing for the consumer's dollar out there right now, and the person who shows the interest and follows up on the interest in really what the customer is looking for is the guy that's going to survive.
So
Great.
very,
Okay.
very,
Thank
very
you.
much
This is
for
fun.
coming out and hanging out with Woodstock Granny today. Again, random acts of kindness, integrity, and grooviness is what we do. Peace. We out.
Peace.